brother, I'm back on the Folly. It's raining. It's the 11th of May and it's about 20 past 9. I got here at 6 o'clock, walked round, I fancied the swim at the opposite end. Looked a little bit warmer and calmer. But up here, got round here, and I've seen about 7 fish. All mainly 20s, I think, but one did crash out. It sounded quite big. I saw the rings, never saw the fish, and it's about 50 yards out. I'm here with my little dog Ruby. She's not too good, but she should be okay. So it's quite weedy out. It's about 17 foot, 18 foot, something like that, and there's loads of silkweed about a foot, and there's Canadian amongst it. And then about 40 yards out I found a clear area on my right hand rod, a real weedy area where I saw the rings of the big fish, and about 5 yards to the left of that there was a clear patch, so I've got one in there, just a single pop up at the moment. Right hand rod, about 30 yards, yeah, 25, 30 yards, something like that. He's got about 40 baits over it, and I've cast a single to a spot where I think they may be going. I've just got a donk on that, but whether it's gone through the weed or not, I'm not too sure. I've just left that. I don't want to be casting around there. So at the moment, it's the wind's pushing up here slightly. It's going to get stronger, which usually they back off, but I thought because it's a little bit cooler, it's very overcast, raining, I thought they'd be down the other end, but they're here, so let's see what happens. I'll spin the camera around and you can have a little look at the lake. Nothing, I've got the right hand rod over the baities, one that matches my bait, 2 white ones, different types of white ones on the other 2 rods. See what happens. Looks good. I haven't been here for about 3 or 4 weeks now because of work and all the rest of it. And in that time, Martha's been out at £44. Black Spot's been out, which is 1 which I haven't caught, at 41. And quite a few other good ones. I can't think of any of the 40s. Been out at the seconds, is there? Nope. So the pig, which is probably the biggest, has been the biggest in the lake, that's one I haven't caught. That hasn't been out yet. Usually gets caught down the other end, so I was going to go down there because of that, but if there's fish up here I need to start getting into them, because it's not been the best of springs, and everywhere you look on social media everyone's catching 40s, 50s and God knows what else. So let's hope we get into them, and if possible some of the big ones. I'm just going to wait for the weather to go off before I put any bait out, or I might move, but it doesn't go off till about 6 or 7 o'clock this evening. So I might, if it looks dead, I might move. If I see them down the other end, I'll definitely move. However, I might get set up for the morning because it looks like they're going to be here tomorrow morning. In fact, I'm quite confident they will be here tomorrow morning. Just got to have my rigs in place on those clear areas with a nice patch of bait around them, and see what happens. I might change the middle rod because it goes over the weed, and it seemed to be clear there, but I was picking up a few strands of, couple of inches of weed on the hook when I was just leading about. So I might stick a snowman on that one, I don't know. Hopefully, if I'm lucky. Weather's a bit miserable, but it's very carpy. I think the pressure's fairly low. I'll have to check 1,000 megabar or whatever, millibar. So we'll see. Temperature's about 13-14 degrees. Water's quite warm. And the Carper in, I've seen, I'd say about 7. Seen one in the swim It's adjacent bank to me in the Folly, about 15 yards out, and all the rest have been in front of this swim. Spread across, I suppose you could say, in between me and the Folly, or in between me and Willow's Corner, which is the left. This swim's called Willow's. So we'll see what happens anyway. It looks good. Looks good. It'd be nice to get an early one, get off the mark. But I'll spin this round anyway, and we'll have a look at the lake. What it's doing. Yeah, sadly, this is the same swim I seem to be always fishing. I very rarely fish this swim unless it's the winter, but it's real. Where that black flat spot is out there, there's a little island amongst the black spot to the right of the screen. That's to the right hand side of that. That's where I've got my right hand rod. So it's quite far actually, but it's not. It's only about 30 to 40 yards, I think that is, sorry. And the middle rod's to the left hand side of that flat spot, maybe behind it. And the left hand rod is to the left, in between myself and next door to the left. So yeah, looks good. I had one little liner on my right hand rod, or one little bleep should I say. So see what happens. It's early days. It's good to be back out. Could just do with nice little take just to get things up and running. The good news is it's down there. I've got one in the net. Looks like it up at 20. I'm not quite sure. It's 12 o'clock, first day. I just cast a little single out to the left, and I was just having a little doze, and off it went. So got weeded up early, right close in. Come in a big ball of weed in the end, but it fought quite well up until that point, and thought I'd lost it when I was pulling that weed in. I couldn't see it at all, but dipped the net right under it all, and got a nice carp in the net. So we'll get him weighed up and get some footage of it and some photos in a bit. Just get this rod back out on the spot and see what happens. There we go, that's the first one. Been here for about 3 hours. Cast a single pop up to show 'em fish. Got this one, 28.2, and a little white 2T. Fought well, got weeded up, and come in with a bag of weed. Just have a look at the other side. Nice old mirror from the Folly. It's 24.14, fish called Double D from the Folly. Caught over about a kilo of boilies. Little pop up over the top. 5 o'clock in the morning. Sadly this one's been otter damaged. They've had its tail there from the winter, but the otters are gone now. All out the fence. An old warrior. We'll have a look at this other side. go. 4 tall on the inside. Never took many runs. Good fish and my second one of the session. There you go. Just a little morning update. So I've done one night. 28-2 yesterday, a fish called Fungus, which I've not caught before, so that's good. He's usually over £30, but he's still a cracking old fish. Went quiet in the afternoon, spommed out about 10 spoms, crumb boilie, hemp, and catted in a few boilies. I'm not sure. I've got it wrapped up about 40 yards, something like that. And then I cast my left hand rod about 30-40 yards to the left and one out about 40-50 yards on an angle. Both all on clear patches against weed beds, and the left and middle over about 100 baits each. And I was getting liners through. I woke up about 11, fell asleep about 10 o'clock, woke up about 11 to fish crashing, and it was flat calm and I saw quite a few fish crashing out there, so I just thought it's got to happen through the night or in the early morning, and started getting liners on my right hand rod over the hemp and the crumb boilies and that. I was up through the night, the indicators welling the top and then dropping back down, so I knew they were feeding over me, so it's just a matter of time as long as the rig was still presented. And just before 5 o'clock this morning, indicator went up, dropped back down again. I thought, oh, here we go, and then it went back up, stuck at the top, and the rod tip was going round a tiny bit. Caught a fish known as Double D. It's a real old fish. Sadly the otters got on here in the winter, got through the fence somehow, over or under the fence, and they are out now. They've shipped them out and they've sealed up any ways in, but Double D had a bit of tail damage, which is a shame. It's been through the wars, that one. So he was 24-12, 24-14, something like that. He is a repeat. I've caught him once before, but he's a nice old fish, but he's proper battered. Yeah, I had another big liner on my left hand rod about 6 o'clock this morning. I don't usually do this, but I just felt like it went a bit quiet on my right hand rod, and I thought they've come off that area, so I got 4 spoms out, round on the button. The rig had already gone out. No one else is caught. Mike Jarvis is, I think he's coming up this end for a bit of stalking. I've just been in the corner now, left hand side, stuck in about 20 baits each on 2 spots. Just halved a few, crumbled them up, and whole ones, and a couple of clear patches where I saw the fish. I saw, yeah, I reckon he was about 28 pounds, something like that. And he was drifting over. He was looking down like he was going to tip over a couple of clear patches, close in, only not even 10 yards out. So I'll keep monitoring that. I've got a little bit of bait under the bushes next door where I saw a fish yesterday. He was what, 22, 24, something like that. So if they start drifting in the edge, I'll keep an eye on that. I'll reel in, take 2 rods, net, sling, mat and that, and go and fish next door. But Mike Jarvis is baiting up that bank there, so hopefully he won't interfere with where I'm fishing. And he just keep them tight in. No doubt he'll find them. So let's see what happens. It's about, what time is it now? It is now 25 to 9, so it's still early, still bite time. The sun's popped out, so it just seems a little bit quieter, and the ripples on the lake, but we'll see what happens. just catch the rings there. One's just there. Come out. So it can't be 30 yards from the bank. He's fizzing it up like mad at the moment. Can you see that? He's about less than 10 yards to the left of me middle rod, and me left and right are just underarmed out, so he's about 20-25 yards. Hopefully he's heading this way. As they usually do, they go into the bank and then they come round. Hopefully they'll get fizzing away and pick up the bait. There's full moons in a couple of days, and it was a big moon last night. And that lake, oh, there's one right on the other side. Did you get it? You can just see right the way over there. Yeah, there's a full moon. Well, full moon a couple of days. There's a big moon last night. It's quite warm, and the lake is full of caddisflies. So they look like they were smashing them all night. Someone's posing for the camera there.
What, 310?
Yeah, I'll tell it, yeah.
It's not resting on the thing, is it?
No, I don't think so. 4310?
Yeah.
Cool.
With the moon scale? Yeah, well, if it was, I'd go home early.
Would you?
I think that is sorted. I think if anyone catches a moon scale between now and June, obviously.
Oh, that's strong. They all good?
Yeah, I'll do.
I'll try the other side. If it's being a pain, I'll just put it back. Cheers, mate.
Sorry, if it was a pig, it was going on your head. Bites it, a burning.
Oh. What a fish.
Nice and crisp. Fucking sweet, man.
Okay, so we're back on the Folly, me and Ruby. She's not been doing too good, but she's waggling there. Oh. She's just having a rest. Right. This is, it's called the Pad Swim. It's the corner of the lake. And there is a fish called the peach in the corner here. He's 39, well he was £39 8 ounces the other day, caught by Mike, and he looks quite happy actually. He's not sulking, he's with a group of others, and I've managed to get, let's see, managed to get 3 rods in there. I'll sneak down, I'm staying well back. I've got it locked up on jag locks, so they can't really go anywhere. I'm not sure if there's any snags down here, but just in case there are. So, let's see. Okay, so as you can see, it looks absolutely beautiful. It's a nice corner of the lake, and they've been drifting in. So you can see that flat spot there, that's where they've all been sunning themselves. The wind's just picked up, but they did drift in here, and you can see the lilies there. There's another set somewhere off that tree, let's see. It's behind that branch, you just can't see it. So I've got just 3 just dotted along here on 3 little clear patches. And we're just waiting for one of them to go off. Hopefully the fish will move in on this breeze. It's absolutely perfect, so you'd think they would. They were here earlier, but when I got my rods out, I think I've scared them off. Hopefully they'll be back. All we need is them to start showing, popping out, and I'll be quids in. Whoa, it's a bit swearing. Just got me Polaroids onto. Obviously you can see the weed growing and all the little clear patches, so I'll head back to my chair and I'll just wait to see if anything happens. I've got 3 nights. It's May the 17th. Arrived about midday, finished work about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, so I need to have a couple of hours sleep. I don't want to be crashing on the motorway on the way down. And I've got here Reedy's on in lower, but he's leaving. I think his name's Tom's in the bog. What's his name? Wayne's up on the Folly bank, and Alex has turned up. Alex Maltby's turned up, he's walking around somewhere. So yeah, there's plenty to go at, and it looks like there's fish getting caught from all areas of the lake, so everyone's got a chance. Let's see what happens.
Name somewhere.
So it's not Mr. Bear then?
No.
Yeah, just keep running them off. $29.8. Fish called C3PO Folly. Good old carp. Nice 25.5 for some.
For me, dog. Well, I've done 2 nights and I've got 1 night to go. I haven't had a fish. I've not fished too bad, it's just a little bit unlucky. I had a vicious liner this morning, 3 o'clock in the morning off the island, and it took her out my clip, but never took no line, so just reset it, and I had fish crashing over me all morning. And when I've reeled in at about 11 o'clock, the lead had been ejected, had been done. So I'm a bit devastated over that because it might have cost me 1 or 2 fish. So I've reset the rods, I've stuck 2. I'm not into sticking 2 on a spot, but I've got about a metre and a half, maybe 2 metres apart, just off the island, spotted out about 7 spoms of mix and stuff. I've got 1 on the inside here off this tree. Now I've just been along the bank about another 10-15 yards, there's a couple of big fish. Mike Jarvis has just said he's just seen them, he's the one who told me about them. I couldn't tell what they were, I just saw the tails and that, you know, tails up. And he reckons it's brush strokes, which is about 45, 46, a moon scale, which is another big one, and a fish called Cuttail Junior, which comes out all the time, it's last out the other day at 36, and the 2 bigger fish dwarfed it, so I did go and have a look, but I think they were on to me, so I'm not going to bother them. I might wait an hour or 2, see what happens. I might go and put a little bit of bait on the spot, and I might even fish it today or tonight. I'll see what happens. But it's a little bit disappointing. Lee's had one over there. He had a 29 8 C3PO, which might have said. Sam had 2 next door to me, a scraper 30T and a 25.5, which was good. The 25.5 was a nice scaly one, and a bit missing in its dorsal, so it's easily recognisable by its scales and its dorsal anyway. So let's hope my little plan comes together and we can get ourselves a fish on the bank, and if we're lucky, one of those big 40s in on the edge. The only problem is I've caught both of them before. I've caught brush strokes spawned out at scraper 40 in scale of 44 something, and but brush strokes and full weight would be nice. You never know, it could be one of the other ones which I haven't caught, a fish called black spot, or which is probably about 41, 42 at the moment, or hopefully the pig, which may be about 45, 46. So let's see what happens anyway. It looks good for it. The sun's just come out, which means I am on a little sandy patch off the island there. So you never know, see what happens.
Ruby just crashing out, it's my last evening. Rods are all out. Someone's up in the balloon up there. Got 2 off the island there. 1 off the bush round the corner. Ian Bailey's just gone in next door and the fish has just crashed in between the 2 of us, so hopefully one of us will be getting lucky tonight. It's got Lee Collins is over there, straight in front, Mike Jarvis to the right. Me and Ruby here. We're due a fish and it's going to look good. I know they're moving in on us, so let's see what happens. Hopefully next video will be with a fish.
Good morning, it's the final morning. It's I've had one, which is a bit of a relief, but it's one of the smallest ones in the lake. It's 1912, it's a little stubby tailed linear. He's just I had 2 takes at once, do you believe it? You go all this time, and left rod went round under the tree, so leaned into it. It was a bit solid, but you just felt it was going to give, and then well, it did, and the hook point was bared over, so I was like absolutely devoed. Just tying up a new rig, just balancing the snowman. And the middle rod went off the island, just pulled up tight, just went down to it, leaned into it and started coming in. I thought it was one of the real small ones at first, you know, like the ones that have come through, been bred through. They're about £10 if that. And yeah, he boiled on the surface and oh, this is a bit bigger than I thought, and that, and ended up netting it. And he's like I'm not sure, but I think he's the ghost linear. He's about £19, but we'll get him out in a sec. I've just got the kettle on the go, so I'm just going to have a brew coffee first, and then what time is it? It must be about 5 o'clock in the morning, 5:05. So yeah, it's all bite time now. I had another little liner on my right hand rod, but I just waited for it to go light about an hour and cast out, and it went down with a nice thud. So not exactly in the same place, a foot to the left, but I'm not, you know, I don't want to be thrashing the water at this time when there's fish about. As long as there's bait there and they come around that corner and they start crashing. I don't think they've been crashing, but all the floss and shit, it's just all come round now, which I thought might be a good thing when I saw it on the water yesterday, but I'm not too sure. We'll see. Catch 1 or 2 more fish this morning and it's the right result. But I'll turn the camera around so you can have a little nose at the swim. You can see all the floss out there, right off the corner. Literally where the branch overhangs, just a couple of feet this way is where I caught that fish from. Not rocket science, is it? You cast there, have a little feel about, and it's quite clear. And yeah, I guess it's a good spot. I've caught fish there before as well, so that helps. Yeah, we'll have this brew, get this fish out and get him back. He's just one of the smallest ones in the lake. He's 1912, little cracker, little stubby tail, old one, nice little linear, battered and bruised, and a little cranberry there's a squid pop up. Take a look at the other side and we'll get him back. And here's his other side. He's only a small one, little stubby tail on him. What a nice little cracker. I'm well pleased with that. Lost another one just before I had this one. Hook point turned over. Let's sort him out and get him back.